Hey, how you doing? Long time no see. So, I have been reading a lot lately, extra time and all. And I want to talk about a book that I just reread. I reread Anne Rice's Blackwood Farm, and I want to talk about it. So, before we get started, here's what's going to happen here. I will give you a mini review, very basic review, and I will talk about what I liked and what I didn't like. So, first, the story again is called Blackwood Farm. The story is basically Quinn is very wealthy and he lives in a mansion that people visit for parties and whatnot. It might have been a hotel, and he travels extensively with his wealthy aunt, and she collects cameos, and I don't care. I don't care. So I found that part of the story kind of hard to get through. Also, Mona is in the story, and she is my least favorite character from the Mayfair Witches, from the Witching Hour. You know, she was my least favorite character. I found her insufferable, just like kind of a know it all, and I didn't like her. I'm sorry. And I was very disappointed when she began to play a somewhat prominent role in this book. I That just made me want to check out more because I dislike Mona, and the fact that Quinn loves her and I find her insufferable made me kind of dislike him too. I'm going to be honest. So there was a lot I didn't like about this book, but what I did like about the book, I loved. I loved. So, um, I didn't like the ending. And keep in mind that I didn't like Quinn, I didn't like Mona, and I didn't like the ending. So, in my mind, I didn't like this book. But let me tell you about what I did like about the book. I guess I sound like a hypocrite here, but there were some things that I did like about the book. So, first, I really liked the beginning of the book, the way it was presented and the way it was written. It was Quinn writing a letter to Lestat, explaining to him what is wrong and explaining to him why he needed his help so bad to help him get rid of Goblin. I found that really, really interesting. And the whole first chapter is Tarquin meeting Lestat, and so Lestat is all broody, and he has warned, we all know this, he has warned all the vampires to stay out of New Orleans. But being a fan of Lestat and being a vampire himself now, Quinn decides that he will risk his life and seek out Lestat to help him. And Lestat was pissed, and then he meets Quinn, and now he's not so mad, and now he's intrigued. He wants to know more. And with a beginning like this, I found the beginning very strong, and it made me want to continue to read. The problem is, I feel like the book does not keep up the momentum that the beginning set up. And so I was very interested to know more about Goblin and to get more of Goblin in the state of Quinn being a vampire and him gaining strength and learning what is Goblin and where he came from. And I felt like the answers that I got just did not satisfy me. And, it's a toss up. Sometimes you love it and sometimes you don't. And this particular time, I didn't like it. Something else that I liked, but it was kind of weird, was there was this like sex scene where Quinn and Goblin kind of like just, do some stuff in the shower. And I find that very strange because Goblin is a ghost. And spoiler, Goblin turns out to be Quinn's twin brother that did not make it out of the womb. So as Quinn is growing, Goblin is just basically mimicking Quinn. I mean, they were twins, so theoretically they would look alike, though not all twins look alike, we know. But so as Quinn grows, Goblin mimics him. So basically, Quinn was fucking himself. And I don't know. It was weird and cool. It was weird and cool. I liked it. I liked it. It was strange. It was very strange. Now, I've always wanted to be a twin. I have never thought I want to be a twin so I can do her, but I found that to be really strange. I had never even thought of taking twindom to that point. Twincest, I guess Game of Thrones. Uh-oh. I have thought about it before. Didn't realize it. So it was basically like a twincest shower scene, and it was strange and cool. So I like that part. Another part that I really liked is when Quinn found out, he stumbled upon the family secret that his ancestor had walked off into the woods, into the swamp, and became a vampire himself. So he, solves the mystery, and he follows his ancestor to where the ancestor was, and he stumbles upon an intersex vampire. Now, intersex means that the vampire has both male genitalia and female genitalia. And it turns out she was a Roman gladiator. Her parents sold her because she was different, and they sold her to be a gladiator fighter, and she never lost. That's an amazing feat. I really wanted to know more of her story. The more Tarquin got to know her within the story, the more she kind of made me sick to my stomach. But I was still very interested just because of the time period that she came from. I am a history lover. So when we start going into detail about a vampire that lived in Pompeii when Mount Vesuvius erupted, like, I want to know more about her story. I wanted to know more of her story than I wanted to know of Quinn. Like, immediately when they started talking about Petronia, I cared nothing for Quinn, and I wanted to know more about her. Now, I liked her addition, but there were some parts of the story that went along with her that I found pretty disturbing. She basically kidnaps Tarquin, and she forces him to become a vampire after she whoops the dog shit out of him and then orally rapes him. I was just really thrown off by that part. He then bites down on her junk, and that's how he gets the vampire blood. And, once you become a vampire, once you start drinking the blood, you can't control yourself. So now he's like really getting into it, and that was kind of disturbing. That was pretty disturbing. It was really, really disturbing. I found that to be disturbing. So she's a rapist. And as I read that, it reminded me of The Shield. Like, the absolute last bit of The Shield that I could take is when they got that chief guy, when those two dudes got that chief guy in that abandoned building, and they orally raped him and then recorded it and then started taunting him with the recording. And so he had to go like murder them in order to get back his like manlyhood. That's when I stopped watching that show, because that was pretty traumatizing for me to watch that. And so to read something so similar just took me back there, and it kind of made me sad. Now, it did not make me want to learn less about this old raping ass bitch Petronia, but it did make me sad. So there's that. So that was basically all that I needed to talk about Blackwood Farms. I just needed to get that out. I needed to share that with somebody. So I shared it with you. Thank you for watching. Thank you. I will be posting more videos because, again, I am reading so much more now because I have extra time and I just feel the urge. And, all I can say is go read a book. Read a book. Expand your mind. Have a good one.